Good evening and welcome to Apex Online Racing. My name is GKRT Pinky Boy, but you're more than welcome to call me Jack. And we are here for the fourth and final round of the AOR BMW VGT Group X Cup. And this is a very exciting finale. There are 7 drivers who mathematically can win this championship and 5 teams who mathematically can win the team's title. We will go into who that is momentarily, but first off, let me welcome you to Bathurst Mount Panorama circuit. There is a track map there so you know what it looks like. Qualifying will start at 10 to 8, and that will be for 10 minutes on the hard tyres. Then we will have a 22 lap feature race, which will be roughly about 40 minutes on the hard tyres, and the grid is based off of the qualifying results. In the sprint race we will be using the medium tyres, and it will be 7 laps long, and it will be a rolling start based off of the reverse of the feature race results. But Bathurst is an amazing track, all the way to the top of the mountain and then all the way back down. Bathurst is about 125 miles, that is roughly about 200 kilometres from Sydney, Australia, that just to give you an idea of the geography. And the track has hosted races since the early 1900s. Mount Panorama, as we know it today, was originally started construction in mid-1936, and the first race held there was motorbikes, and that was on the 6th of April 1938. The first motor race, the first race in cars, was held only 2 days later. This iconic circuit is 6.21 kilometres long, that is about 3.86 miles, and has 22 corners, 23 if you're on the bikes, because the corner coming into the chase isn't harsh enough to be counted as a corner under FIA rules, but is enough of a turn to be counted as a corner in superbike rules. The longest straight is the Conrod Straight, which is the straight you just see Hasnain coming up to there. My apologies. This straight here is the Conrod Straight. It's the longest straight on the circuit, and it is 1.916 kilometres, and it drops from the top of the mountain back down. And when this circuit is not being used for racing, it is open as a public road, so people can go up and down the mountain. Now, I was saying earlier that 7 drivers can win the championship here tonight mathematically. Let's have a look at the drivers' standings. So, at the top of the table is H Racing Green with 96 points, and Hasnain behind with 97 points. Ragnar Kagari then behind with 66 points, and then Solid Ninja Snake with 64 points. Ash Racer behind them, 59 points. Wedgie Bow, 55. Bankai Bullet on 53. Those racers can all win the championship here tonight. So let's hope that we get some really good racing, and hopefully no major incidents to slow the race down. Behind Bankai Bullet, just out of the championship, is Cali and Juttengo, both with 50 points apiece. Then behind them is Communist Minion and Bloody Nine on 43 points. Leadermaster, who is not racing this week because he is not well, has 41 points. Miguel has 32 points. We've got Ronan GT Delaney near the back there with 31 points, and Race Mech Nick at the bottom with 12 points and has missed a round. Going over to the teams' championships, 5 of these teams can mathematically win the championship here tonight. We have the Benetton Invicta team with 194 points, and then behind them is Ace Motorsport. Benetton Invicta is Bankai Bullet and H Racing Green. Ace Motorsport, that is Solid Ninja Snake and Hasnain with 143 points. Bleeding Edge Mental Racing, which is Wedgiebo and Cali, have 105 points. Bleeding Edge Margarita is Jut and Go and Bloody Nine. They have 93 points. BMW Bad Boy Racing, that would be Ronin, GT, Delaney and Ash Racer on 90 points. Those teams can mathematically win the championship here tonight. Diable's team, that is Ragnar Kagari on his own, 66 points. BWT Black Dragon, that's a typo, my apologies. BWT Black Dragon have 43 points, that is Communist Minion. Taylor Sport Racing Team, that is Lee the Reaper on 41 points. Team Portugal is Miguel and he has 32 points. And NH Racing Team is a solo entry with Race Mech Nick and that is 12 points for them. So a lot of action to be seen here tonight as we see Solid Ninja Snake out on track just now. We currently have 10 minutes to qualifying, so why don't we check out a hot lap around Mount Panorama. So you start out on the pit straight. It's a short pit straight and the start line is further along the pit straight than you would expect, so that cars are not coming around the final corner on the grid. And we go through Hell Corner and onto the mountain straight. This is the second longest straight on the course. And when the car starts to bump around a bit, you know it's time to brake for Griffin's Bend. You want to drift out wide and then come back in. The single file portion here is through the cutting. You want to try and avoid the walls, but get as close as you can to them. After that, you're coming up the hill to Reeds Park, which is 2 rights then a left, which brings you on to Solomon Park right here. Here you are looking to take as much speed through the corners as you can as you come down to McPhillamy Park. And then looking over the crest, breaking down into Brock's Skyline. Once you get into Brock's Skyline, you want to scrub off as much speed as you can, coming through the S's. Getting as close to the walls as you possibly can without clipping them and send yourself into a spin. There are 3 of the S's, and here we are coming through Forest's Elbow just now onto the highest speed section of the course, which is Conrod Straight. Conrod Straight brings you downhill and it brings you back up just a little bit before plunging you back downhill into the Chase. There's a wee bit extra tarmac at the left hand side there for drivers to use. The Chase is that kink and this chicane here. The reason for it is the FIA thought the straight was too long. And we come past the very awkward pit lane, because you will get a penalty if you cut the corner of the pit lane as well, into Murray's Corner, and then along the pit straight once again back up to Hell Corner. It's going to be an exciting race here as long as no one gets a major crash into Hell Corner, which would ruin someone's race, as getting out the gravel is not the easiest thing to do. So we're almost saw Ninja Snake just now as he is coming up through. That looks like he's on his way down to McPhillamy Park and into Brock's Skyline there. Coming down towards the S's. These cars have a bit of an oversteer problem coming through the apexes of the corners. So the driver's working very hard to keep their cars in a straight line and facing the right way. We currently have about 10 minutes until quali starts, about 8 minutes. We will have 14 racers. Once again, like I said, Lee the Reaper is out of this race ill. But we certainly hope you guys are looking forward to it. Currently, Solid Ninja Snake holds the fastest lap in practice. However, practice doesn't necessarily mean points. There we go. Fastest lap currently held by H Racing Green at 2:02.085. Solid Ninja Snake fastest on, who is on the track as H Racing Green is in the pits, as Ash Racer now just goes faster. As we see Ash Racer coming through the Griffin's Bend just now. So on the field just now we have Ash Racer, Hasnain, Wedgiebo, Bloody Nine, Juttengo, Cali, Nicky, Delaney and Bankai on track just now. Drivers getting the last chance, taking the last chance to warm up and find their braking points. That last minute preparation before the qualifying and race starts. Once again, the feature race is 22 laps on the hard tyres and the sprint race 7 laps on the medium tyres, with a reverse grid going into the sprint race. We're seeing drivers starting to find spots to park up, getting ready for quali. Some drivers doing practice starts. Every driver looking to get the most they can out of this race, especially when 7 of them can win this championship. Here we are on with Wedgiebo at the moment, one of those who can mathematically win. With the points gap that there is from second to third, it is most likely going to be Hasnain or H Racing Green that takes the win here and the championship with it. And you would be right to believe that whoever wins the Drivers' Championship will take the Team's Championship home with them, provided their teammate doesn't finish very low on the table. However, Wedgiebo here is 6th in the championship as it currently stands, and him and his teammate Cali are 3rd in the team's championship, so they are in with a shout to win. Also in with a shout for the championship is Ash Racer, 4-time champion here at AOR. He was the champion in seasons 3, 4, 5 and 9. And we also see Hasnain there coming through the S's. Hasnain Super Formula Champion Season 7. One of the most consistent drivers on the grids. Another driver in with a chance at the championship here is Bankai Bullet. Bankai Bullet, very consistent competitor here at AOR over the last few seasons. We also have Ragnar Kagari there coming out of the pits. Like Ash Racer, Ragnar Kagari is also a 4-time AOR champion. Champion in seasons 8, 10, 11 and Super Formula Season 2. Also in with a chance at the championship is Solid Ninja Snake, who is currently in the pits there, teamed up with Hasnain in Season 4. As for the teams, we have Bad Boy Racing, which is Ash Racer, and Ronin GT Delaney. They have 4 championships. They were the champions of Season 5 and Seasons 9, 10 and 11. Juttengo and Bloody Nine, they are the Bleeding Edge Margarita Motorsport team. They were champions in Season 8. Can find one of their cars to show you. The Bleeding Edge team there, taking a break out from their iconic green livery, going for a more blue and white outfit this time around. Ace Motorsport, which is Hasnain and Solid Ninja Snake, they were the champions of the team champions for Super Formula. Managed to do that as a solo outfit. Such was the dominance of Hasnain in that season. Won every race that season. The Benetton and Mental Racing teams there. Mental Racing is Wedgebo and Cali, and the Benetton Invicta Racing team is Bankai Bullet and H Racing Green. We are just about to start qualifying, hopefully. I hope you all have your drinks and snacks at the ready. The race should be the feature race should be roughly about 45 minutes, and the sprint race roughly 15. And with the reverse grid, it definitely makes it all to play for. This is going to be a track where you are going to have one half of it full of action, and the other half is going to be mostly a train of cars. The top of the mountain is a very hard place to overtake. It's twisty, it's turny, and it is tight. It's a lot more open from Griffin's Elbow up to, Forest Elbow through to Griffin's Bend. That would be from turns 14 through to turn 2. As we reset the lobby, everyone will be going out onto the track and finding a space past Sector 1. Once everyone is past Sector 1, qualification will start. As we see everyone making their way to the end of Mountain Straight. And just finding places along the side of the road to park the car up. Some will use this opportunity to get the last chance of practice in. Some will find a place to just try and sit and do donuts, which could be very difficult here. It's not the tightest, it's not the widest of tracks, but it is definitely one of the more fun ones. As we are currently on with Bankai Bullet on his way up the hill, up the mountain, and parking up at Brock's Skyline. So we'll just see if everyone is out. Wedgebo, it will be the last to cross the line. Ash Racer will be. We are definitely hoping to see some exciting action. We're only moments away from qualifying as we see Cali parking up with his teammate, Wedgebo parking up with his teammate Cali there. See Ash Racer there. Everyone is past the first sector time split, which means we will be just about to start. There we go, confirmation. Here we go. Let's see who decides to be the first one out of the pit lane. Looks like it was Miguel was the first out. "10 minutes of quality. If you cross the line, if the time runs out, you have about 2 minutes to finish your lap, and that is what counts." As we see Miguel there, pulling off to the side to let H Racing Green pass, it looks like. As we come up the hill, up through Reed Park. And down to McPhillamy Park, or that's Solomon Park, and then McPhillamy Park. And down Brock Skyline, through the S's. Miguel getting a bit squirrely through there. Green looking to get past him. Although this is where Green will definitely get past him in that slipstream. On the run down the Conrod Straight. Pulling out. On the way down to the chase. As we now jump on with H Racing Green as he goes to complete his first lap. As he comes through the chase. And down to Murray's Corner. And crosses the line to start his first lap of qualifying through Hell's Corner. A nice line through there. Just to keep the car under control as he comes along the mountain straight there. And over the crest, we'll be waiting for the bumps to start. There we go, braking down for the Griffin's Bend. Making his way along to the cutting, which is two left-handers which get tighter as you go on the way up to Reed Park. Getting tight to the walls, opening up as much of the line as he can as he comes up to Solomon Park. Making use of as much of the track space as he can now that he's got no one in front of him, as he brakes coming down McPhillamy Park and into Brock Skyline. And into the S's. The dipper there, just a sheer drop as he comes into Forest Elbow. And back onto the Conrod Straight. No likely be wishing his teammate was there to give him some slipstream. As he makes his way down to the chase using all the extra tarmac and braking down for the chicane here. As he now comes to Murray's Corner. Makes his way across the line. Eventually, there we go, 2 minutes 1 second, 0.5. As Miguel goes 2:04, Wedgeable goes 2:03.4, Bank High Bullet 2:02.0. H Racing Green currently with pole position. Calais 2:03.5, who is next across the line. Communist Minion 2:03.7, Jut and Go 2:03.6, Bloody 9 2:03.6. Saw Ninja Snake next to cross the line will be 2:02.6. Puts himself into third place. Nicky goes 2:03.7. Asnane next one to cross the line. Where can he put the car? Second place 2:01.6. Next will be Ronin GT Delaney. Coming through Murray's corner there. Making a good run along there, 2039. Next up, Ragnar Kagari. Goes 5th, 2022. Ash Racer now starting his outlap. So as it currently stands, your front row is H Racing Green and Hasney, the first and second in the championship. And the Benetton Invictas and the Ace Motorsport cars have locked out the first 4 positions in their battle for the team's championship. As we now check in on Ash Racer, who is coming off the wall a bit there at the exit of the cutting. As we've seen someone else taking a spin a wee bit further back, which is not going to help them improve their time. As we see Ragnar Kagari there right behind Ash Racer. As we come down through Brock Skyline, Cali goes across the line, 2033. And Communist Minion also goes 2033, just slightly slower than Cali by 300ths of a second. Jut and Go goes 2027, Bloody 9, 203.078. As we see Ash Racer here now coming down the chase, not the chase, down Conrod Straight towards the chase. We'll be looking to use as much of that tarmac as possible, carry as much speed through. Braking down, see the lick of flames coming off the car, getting up on that curb, making his way down to Murray's corner. Braking at about 100 metres. Makes a nice line through there. And across the line, 202.666. Put him originally in 5th, but dropped down to 6th after Ragnar Kagari put in a 202.154. See who is coming across the line soon. We have H Racing Green, he is currently coming down Conrod Street. We have someone about to come across the line. I believe that is whoever went and spun the car at the cutting. But H Racing Green here looking to solidify his pole position against his championship rival here, Hasnain. As he comes along pit straight and goes 201.454, increasing that gap to Hasnain. Let's see where Hasnain is. Hasnain is coming through Griffin's Bend. Hasnain will have been the one who spun, I take it, as he makes his way up the mountain. Coming through Reed Park, Communist Minion, 203.329. Improving his time, but I don't think he has improved his position, as Hasnain takes a hard hit with the rear quarter against that wall there. Coming down through Brock Skyline. And through the S's. As Wedgie Bo sets a 102.265, bringing him up to 6th position ahead of Ash Racer. The 7 drivers in the top 7 all have a chance to win this championship if the results go their way. For Hasnain and H Racing Green, it is just finish higher than the other one, preferably in 1st for those guys. And we see Hasnain about to come across the line. Can he improve his time? Unfortunately not, and that is qualifying over for most. As you see H Racing Green coming down the hill and through up to the line. Does not improve his time. Bankai Bullet has parked it up at Forest Elbow. Ryan Nakagari there coming through the cutting. We're trying to find who is coming across the line now. We've got a couple of guys coming across the line just now. Cali sets a new better time. 2033. Cornish Minion 2028. See Wedgeable coming down to the chase, trying to improve his time. See if he can break into that top few cars. Yellow flag's out on track. Someone has stopped just at the exit of Murray's Corner. Nicky goes and sets a 2034. Wedgeable does not improve their time. Ragnar Kagari now coming down to the chase here. The right flick and then the chicane. Ash Racer improves his time, goes third with a 2:01.979. As Ragnar Kagari now comes across the line, last to set a time. And goes third, 2:01.910. So your top four are H Racing Green, Hasnain, Ragnar Kagari, and Ash Racer. Bankai Bullet in fifth, Saw Ninja Snake in sixth, Wedgiebo in seventh, Jut and Go in eighth position. Communist Minion is in ninth. We've got Bloody Nine in 10th, Cali in 11th, Nicky in 12th, Ronin GT Delaney parked up at the side of Hell Corner in 14th, and Miguel in 13th, and Miguel in 14th. So here we are for the race. 22 laps around Bathurst. In a night race that is sure to have some action. As we see the racers there. And we're off. Everyone seemingly getting off quite cleanly there. As we make the run down to Hill Corner. Anyone going to make some opportunistic moves? Bankai Bullet going down the inside of Ash Racer. Ash Racer losing it. Ash Racer down to 6, managed to recover. Although must have been a bit on the grass there. Someone was on the grass. Looks like it must have been Communist Minion or Jut and Go. Jut and Go dropped down a few positions there. Wedgiebo down to 9th. As you see, Hasnain being hassled there by Ragnar Kagari, who has now just got past coming out of Griffin's Bend. As we go into the cut, it will be single file here, else you risk getting yourself or pushing someone into the wall. Although we see Bankai Bullet looking around the looking to see if we could make the pass around the outside of Solid Ninja Snake there. As we see the racers coming up and through Summer Park, and we come to McPhillamy Park and down to Brock Skyline. All these cars here close together. And as we see Ragnar Kagari there, having a wee bit of an issue there. As Hasnain comes down with his teammate Solid Ninja Snake there behind him. Solid Ninja Snake will likely be playing wingman to keep Bankai Bullet behind. Looking ahead at the team's championship. As everyone comes down to chase. We see Ragnar Kagari now taking the lead ahead of H Racing Green. We'll come back to that pass in a minute, although Ragnar Kagari, H Racing Green side by side coming into Murray's corner. H Racing Green and Ragnar Kagari having a drag race down to the start finish straight. H Racing Green back in front, but Ragnar Kagari does have the inside for the corner. Wee bit of a touch there. Ragnar Kagari there still in front. Manages to pull out ahead, but H Racing Green does now have the slipstream. Weaving about, looking for where he can go. He's looking to go around the outside of Griffin's Bend. Brakes later. As Ragnar Kagari does get a bit of a slide on, that has allowed H Racing Green to get past. And Hasnain now closing the gap right up the rear wing of Ragnar Kagari. Everyone all close together. Ragnar Kagari struggling to keep that car facing straight forward. As we come up through Reed Park up to Solomon Park, on the run to McPhillamy Park. These drivers just in a train here, they know that overtaking can be dangerous as we come down into Brock Skyline and into the S's. Everyone really struggling to keep it out of the walls and keep the cars facing the right way. As we see, Hasnain there was looking for going around the outside at Forest Elbow. As H Racing Green starts opening that gap to Ragnar Kagari, Hasnain behind in the slipstream. Looking to make his way past into the chase maybe, or before Hill Corner. As we see them coming through the chase. The cars looking absolutely glorious in the light of the other cars. And we cross the line once again to start lap 3 of 22. As we make it through Hill Corner, Hasnain there. All over the rear wing of Ragnar Kagari. Looking to see if he can find his way past before Griffin's Corner. As they come over the crest. Doesn't manage to find his way past. Will have to stay in the slipstream on the way up the mountain. Have to stay behind with his teammate right there. Bankai Bullet now down to 8th position. Ash Racer, Jut and Go and Communist Minion all ahead. As we come through Solomon Park on the way to McPhillamy Park, and then the drop down into Brock Skyline. Let's have a look at where everyone else currently is, as we're not going to talk about that. So we have H Racing Green in first with Ragnar Kagari behind, Hasnain in third. His teammate Solid Ninja Snake right behind them. Ash Racer for Bad Boy Racing in fifth. Jut and Go for the Bleeding Edge team in sixth. We have the BWT Black Dragon of Communist Minion in seventh, and the second Benetton Invicta of Bankai Bullet in 8th, as Communist Minion makes his way past Jut and Go, and Jut and Go gets back past, and Bankai Bullet goes past the two of them, as both Communist Minion and Jut and Go have ended up off track, which has allowed Wedgiebo and Nicky Man to get past them. Jut and Go letting his teammate Bloody Nine past, Callie behind them, Ronan GT Delaney, and Miguel right at the back. The gap here very, very close, as Hasnain is still trying to find his way past Ragnar Kagari. Hasnain cannot stay stuck behind Ragnar Kagari for long, as that is just slowing him up, and will allow H Racing Green to run away with the championship at this rate. However, there is still strategy and a second race to come into play. but the longer he is stuck behind Kagari, the slimmer his chances get of getting past H Racing Green to win this championship. As we see them on their way to McPhillamy Park, there we go, and down into Brock Skyline. The Ace Racing team, 3-4 at the moment, should secure them should put them in for a better chance of the team's championship. However, I'm pretty sure that Hasnain will be looking at that Drivers' Championship, as all the drivers will be. As we see Ash Racer still behind Solid Ninja Snake and Bankai Bullet just behind. And then we've got Communist Minion and Wedgie Ball there in 7th and 8th. As we see Hasnain there, still behind Ragnar Kagari. Still trying to find his way past. Let's have a look back at that pass that Ragnar Kagari made on H Racing Green earlier. As we see them coming through the chase and down to Murray Corner, and some lovely side-by-side action. Back on for another drag race. Some great racing from these two that we've seen all through this season. As Ragnar Kagari still leads Hasnain as we come once again through to Solomon Park. Making their way down to McPhillamy and then Brock Skyline. Into the Essies once again on lap 5 of 22. H Racing Green still extending that lead as much as he can. Will be looking for the gap to give him a pit stop. As Hasnain stays close there to Ragnar Kagari. You see the tyres kicking up some dust. It's harder to see the apexes here at night. As we come back round onto the pit straight with Ragnar Kagari, Hasnain, Solid Ninja Snake and Ash Racer all in a row there, ready to capitalise on any of the others ahead making a mistake. I think many of these drivers will be looking at making the one stop, meaning they will be pitting between laps 8 and 12, or 8 and 13. As Ash Racer currently holds the fastest lap of 202.504. Which gives him an extra point at the end of the race. As we make our way once again down Brock Skyline, these four cars following close together as H Racing Green makes his way further and further ahead. Nicky made his way up into the top 6 ahead of Bankai Bullet. Communist Minion right behind him. It's a good job from Nicky getting all the way up to 6th place just now. See if he can hold that position. As they come through the chase once again, on the way down to Murray's Corner. As Hasnain pits lap 6. Hasnain looking at the 2-stop strategy, which will allow Ragnar Kagari to get away a wee bit without being harassed as much. And will give Solomon Snake a chance to pick up his pace. As Hasnain comes out in 5th ahead of Nicky. And Hasnain is currently 13.7 seconds behind H Racing Green. But on fresher tyres, can he close that gap up and make the undercut work? Or can H Racing Green go longer and make the overcut work, having fresher tyres near the end of the race? This is where, like I said, strategy will come into play, as well as where you are relative to the other person this early on in the race. And don't forget, we still have a sprint race to factor in as well. I see Ragnar Kagari there still falling away from H Racing Green, but managing to open up a bit of a gap to Solid Ninja Snake by a couple of tenths. As Solid Ninja Snake there is looking behind them, trying to see where we'll be looking to see where Ash Racer is behind them. We'll want to defend from Ash Racer, slow him up, back him into Hasnain. Nicky Man still in 6th ahead of Bankai Bullet. So the Invicta Racing team, the Benetton Invictas, are currently 1-7, and the Ace Motorsport drivers are 3-5. As we come across the line once again. We see Ash Racer there falling a little bit behind Solid Ninja Snake relative to the last lap. Hasnain falling further behind H Racing Green at the moment. Bankai Bullet will be looking to catch. Would have wanted to be closer to Hasnain, try and slow him down with a bit of battling, give his teammate Green a chance to get ahead a bit. However, I believe Bankai does have a penalty, 3.5 second penalty. Not 100% sure what that is for there. But a 3.5 second penalty would be cutting Brock's skyline or cutting the chase normally around here. As H Racing Green still in the lead, 4.4 seconds is the gap back to Ragnar Kagari, who has Solid Ninja Snake closing in on him, 0.7 of a second. Solid Ninja Snake will want to get past Ragnar Kagari and try and close that gap to H Racing Green, put some pressure on him. As we come down into the chase. And towards Murray's Corner. Solid Ninja Snake pitting here on lap 8, possibly going to make the one stop work. Ash Racer also pits at the end of lap 8 with much more fuel than Solid Ninja Snake, which might give Ash the jump in the pits. We shall see, but this has promoted Hasnain back up into 3rd position. And Ash Racer rejoins the race in 4th position, and Solid Ninja Snake in 5th. Ash has got the jump on solid. Nicky still in 6th, Jut and Go in 7th, Bloody in 8th. Bankai Bullet, I believe has, well, Bankai Bullet has served his penalty, so has fallen down a few places. And Ronan GT Delaney there in 10th with Wedgiebo behind in 11th. As we see H Racing Green just driving off into the night, literally and metaphorically, as he comes through into the S's there, taking a lovely line through there. Showing the precise controls of this car that has given him the top position in this championship so far, and has made him the favourite for the title. Here we see Hasnain behind, coming out of the Griffin's Forest elbow, on his way down to the chase. Radna Kagari ahead, H Racing Green also ahead still. You can see the rear lights of those cars in the distance as he comes through the almost chicane-like part of the chase here. Keeping the car under control nicely. Finding the apex. Taking a little bit of the grass there, but doesn't seem to have lost too much time. H Racing Green does have the fastest lap of a 2:02.416 as Nicky now pits, which allows Jut and Go Bloody 9 and Bankai Bullet ahead. You see Ash Racer there for the Bad Boy Racing team, sitting in 4th, got Solid Ninja Snake a wee ways behind him. You see H Racing Green there coming up the hill just out of Reed Park. Radna Kagari not far behind, 5.5 seconds. Let's have a look further back. Let's have a look at Bankai Bullet, the teammate of H Racing Green. Will be wanting to make up positions for the team's championship, is in a bleeding edge margarita sandwich right now with Jut and Go ahead and Bloody 9 behind. Bloody 9 trying to close that gap on the way up the hill. Try to stay close, ready for any mistakes that Bankai Bullet might make, and he nearly made one there where he nearly lost the car coming out of Salmon Park as brakes and comes down box skyline. As we now come into the S's, you see the sparks of Bloody 9 dragging the paintwork of the car off the side of the wall there. As they make their way along Conrod Straight once again, and we are on the lap 10 of 22. Will be lap 11 of 22 when these guys cross the line. As we see the lick of flames as they downshift for the chase. Coming up to Murray's corner. As we see H Racing Green still driving off ahead of everyone else. Hasnain trying to chase down Radna Kagari, close the gap so that he inherits first when H Racing Green eventually decides to pit. And we are currently on lap 11 of 22. Everybody only getting to use the hard tyres here, so there's no tyre strategy. There's no tyre that's faster than the other. As we come up to McPhillamy Park and down to Brock's Skyline and into the S's. Once again, this time following Hasnain. as he makes a nice line there through Forrest's elbow. Currently in 5th behind Ragnar Kagari and H Racing Green. Ash Racer in 4th, Solid Ninja Snake in 5th, Jut and Go in 6th, followed by Bank High Bullet and Bloody 9. Behind Bloody 9 is Ronin, GT Delaney and Wedgie Bow. Behind them is Wedgie Bow's teammate Callie and Communist Minion way back, struggling to keep the car going. Is treating this as more of a drift trial than a race by the looks of it there. And then we've got Nicky down in 13th after that pit stop and Miguel in 14th. Nicky dropped from 6th down to 13th during the pit stops. However, I think after the pits after his pit stop he may have had some issues. As we see, Hasney now out in 1st, H Racing Green in 2nd after the pit stops. Ash Racer up into 3rd, Solid Ninja Snake to 4th, Ragnar Kagari down to 5th after those pit stops. We see Bloody 9, Ronin GT Delaney, Jut and Go and Bank High Bullet in the pits just now. But now we need to see if H Racing Green will catch up to Hasnain and whether or not Hasnain may or may not make a second stop. Hasnain currently has the fastest lap of a 202.210, and H Racing Green being harassed a bit there by Ash Racer. Ash Racer making himself as big in the rear mirror of H Racing Green as he possibly can. See dust being kicked up by Hasnain coming into Brock's skyline. You hear the tyre squeals. These drivers going flat out, pushing the car to the absolute limits. And you see Ash Racer there in the slipstream of H Racing Green as we come down the Conrod Straight on the way to the chase. First a flick right, then brake down for the left hand turn and coast it through the next right hander. Back on power for the run down to Murray Corner. Back on power for the short blast down the pit straight and on to Mountain Straight. As GH Racing Green now trying to open that gap, but Ash Racer in the slipstream not going to let it happen. He's getting dragged along there as they find their way to the Griffin's Bend. Looking to brake and turn in. Hasnain in first, Solid Ninja Snake in fourth. The Ace Motorsports team doing good in their pursuit of the team championship. H Racing Green in the Benetton Invicta, and his teammate is in second. His teammate Bank High Bullet is down in seventh, which means they have a bit of a hill to climb to recover this in the sprint race for the team's championship. Ash Racer still making himself as big as he possibly can be in that rear wing of H Racing Green, but H Racing Green focusing on just closing that gap down to Hasnain. But Hasnain is not going to make it easy for him. As see Hasnain just a wee bit ahead there as they come down to the chase. First the flick to the right, down for the left-hander, back through, and down to Marty Corner. We see H Racing Green coming across the line there Hasnain still holding the fastest lap of the 202.210. See dust being kicked up by Hasnain there. As they make their way to Griffin's Bend. And up through the cutting. And through Reed Park, H Racing Green tapping the walls a little bit. Taking some of that paintwork off as we see Hasnain there coming down through Brock's skyline. H Racing Green not far behind. We see Ash Racer there just behind, kicking up some dust there as well. Ash Racer there taking up the third spot on the podium. Solid Ninja Snake would definitely like to be third on that podium. See Bank High Bullet still down in 7th position. Ryan Kagari back in 5th. Juttengo there, 8th position. These guys behind are a little bit spread out as CH Racing Green there has managed to pull a bit of a gap out from Ash Racer, get him out of slipstream range. Focus on just chasing down Hasnain. Hasnain once again going for the pit stop. Hasnain doing 2-stop. Looks like most other people seem to be going for the 1-stop. We'll see if H Racing Green comes in for another pit stop in a few laps time. Or has Hasnain thrown away the victory here? Hasnain refueled the car and is back out. Looks like fuel is going to make this race a 2-stop. Cali in once again from 6th position. Let's see where Hasnain is. Hasnain has an 18.6 second gap back to Bank High Bullet and has 16 seconds to make up on H Racing Green should H Racing Green not make another pit stop. Now Hasnain is behind his teammate Solid Ninja Snake. Solid up in 3rd position on the podium for Ace Motorsports team. Ash Racer currently holding 2nd for Bad Boy Racing. However, we're yet to see if the rest of the racers up here are looking to make a 2-stop or if they are doing the 1-stop strategy. Hasnain showing great control of the car coming through there. Back on the road down the Conrad straight down towards the chase. Bank High Bullet behind in 6th. Has Juttengo not too far behind. Bank High Bullet want to hold that 6, give himself and his teammate Green the best chances for the team's championships. I see H Racing Green there 4 seconds ahead, trying to pull that gap out to Ash Racer, give him the best chance of not getting jumped in the pit stop phase of this race. I see Ryan Kagari there trying to chase down, Solid Ninja Snake even, trying to chase down Ash Racer, get that 2nd position. Again, looking to give his team the best chance in this championship. As the top 2 teams as the top 2 drivers in this championship are from the top 2 teams. Green for the Invicta Benetton Racing team and Hasnain for the Ace Motorsport team. We also have the second drivers for both of those teams, Bankai Bullet and Solid Ninja Snake respectively, in the top 7, who can still fight for this championship in theory, depending on how the rest of this race goes. With this being such a tight and twisty circuit at the top of the mountain, anything can happen. As we see Solid Ninja Snake chasing down Ash Racer on the way down Conrod Straight, coming into the chase. Solid Ninja Snake got that gap down to 7/10 of a second. We'll be trying to get that gap down. Solid Ninja Snake and Ash Racer both pit at the end of lap 16. Ash Racer with slightly more fuel than Solid Ninja Snake. This has promoted Ragnar Kagari up into second position, and Hasnain up into third. It looks like everyone will be doing two-stop strategy with the fuel usage around here. Ash Racer comes out still ahead of Solid Ninja Snake. However, having coming through the final corner instead of out of the pits, Hasnain has more speed coming along Mountain Straight and has built up a wee bit of a gap to Ash Racer before Griffin Bend, as we now come through the cutting on board with Hasnain. Now we need to see if H Racing Green and Ragnar Kagari still opt to pit, or if they've managed to fuel save their way to a one-stop. As we are on our way to McPhillamy Park and down into Brock's Skyline. Hasnain and H Racing Green will know that 3 weeks of racing is brought it down to this. Straight shootout for the win. Whoever wins both of the races will be the champion. H Racing Green currently top of the table. Hasnain only 17 points behind. Hasnain coming through Murray's corner, trying to chase down Ragnar Kagari, who he can see ahead of him. We see Ash Racer and Solid Ninja Snake back just a little bit there, as I believe Bankai Bullet has just made his way past Jutland. Yes, he has. Bankai Bullet now up into 6th place behind Solid Ninja Snake, but 17 seconds off. We'll have a ways to go to make that gap back up. As we see Ash Racer there trying to close the gap down onto Hasnain and keep Solid Ninja Snake behind, and currently is managing to do so. Still got a battle there with Jutland and Bankai Bullet going on, coming into the Griffin's Bend just now. Bankai Bullet want to keep Jutland behind for the points towards the team's championship, which his teammate H Racing Green is doing a good job of making sure they do, being 13 seconds ahead of Ragnar Kagari and 17 seconds ahead of Hasnain, 18 seconds. As H Racing Green makes his way down, crosses the line. No, he doesn't. That would be Race Mech Nick, I believe, who has just crossed the line. Miguel has just crossed the line. H Racing Green not pitting this lap. Let's see, Ryan Nakagari 4 seconds ahead of Hasnain there. Hasnain will want to be closing that gap down as soon as possible, as we are now on to lap 19 of 22. H Racing Green in first, Ryan Nakagari in second, Hasnain currently holding third position. Ash Racer in fourth, Solid Ninja Snake is in fifth. Bankai Bullet holding down sixth position, Jump and Go and Bloody Nine in 8th and 9th respectively. Then we have Ronan GT Delaney in 9th, Wedgebo in 10th, Communist Mine in 11th, Nikki Cali in 12th, Nikki in 13th, and Miguel in 14th. As we see Hasnain there trying to close that gap down to Ryan Nakagari. Looks like Ryan Nakagari and H Racing Green have opted for the one stop. Or if Ryan Nakagari did stop, he managed to pull out enough of a gap that he would come out still ahead of Hasnain and may have missed him making the stop. As we see the drivers coming down to Brock's Skyline there. And H Racing Green already onto the Conrod Straight, on his way down to the chase. Making his way down, it's Hasnain there making his way down the Conrod Straight, down towards the chase, trying to chase down Ragnar Kagari. And down into Murray's Corner. If the race was to end like this with 2 laps to go, with Hasnain in third and H Racing Green in first, Hasnain would need to win the sprint race, and H Racing Green would need to be down in the lower midfield for Hasnain to stand a chance of winning the Drivers' Championship. See Hasnain there making his way back up the hill, looking to close down on Ragnar Kagari. Ragnar Kagari not going to let Hasnain past very easily. As we see that gap climbing 18.4 seconds at the moment to the leader. As we make our way down to Brock's Skyline and through the S's, and through the Griffin's Bend, sorry no that's not Griffin's Bend, Forest Elbow, and back down the hill, letting gravity do a lot of the work. Making their way to the chase. You see them using as much of that track as they possibly can. Open up the apex of the corner as much as they can. Making their way back down to Murray's Corner once again. Ash Racer close behind. See, as you see, Hasnain there getting a little bit of a power slide on the exit. These cars are very tricky. No traction control on these cars, no stability assists. The only assist that you are allowed is anti-lock brakes. which is why you've not seen many people lock up, if at all, during this race. As ABS is not mandatory, some drivers may not use it. However, all other driving assists are prohibited: counter steering assistance, stability assist, traction control, no driving lines, no cones. As we see Hasnain once again coming down Brock Skyline. Definitely watching close on Hasnain. See if we can close that gap down to H Racing Green. Should mention that Ash Racer has the fastest lap at 201.853. We've seen H Racing Green there coming through the chase once again and making his way down to Murray's Corner to cross the line to start the final lap. You can see on the mini-map there that Miguel is just a wee bit ahead of H Racing Green, while Miguel has not yet been lapped. Should Miguel get lapped before H Racing Green crosses the start-finish line, this will also be Miguel's final lap. If Miguel can cross the line before he is lapped, he will be allowed to do the 22nd lap, but otherwise he will only be doing 21 laps. See Hasnain there has caught up to Ragnar Kagari. It still has Ash Racer all over the back of him. Saw Ninja Snake falling away about 5 seconds. As Ash Racer struggling there through the cutting and up Reed Park to keep the car under control. Ragnar Kagari will want to hold Hasnain behind for as long as possible. Hasnain will want to get past as quickly as possible. As we come down into Brock Skyline once again for the final time. And make our way through the S's into Forest's Elbow. And on to the Conrod Straight for the 22nd and final time this race. Hasnain in the slipstream, coming into the chase. Breaking down into the chicane. As H Racing Green crosses the line and takes first position, means he will start at the back of the grid on the next race. Ragnar Kagari there, holding Hasnain up all the way through the corner. Not wanting to let him past. Ragnar Kagari takes second, Hasnain in third, Ash Racer in fourth. Saw Ninja Snake there, finishing fifth. We see Bankai Bullet in a battle with Jungo on the way down the hill. As they come across the line, Bankai Bullet looks like he will finish in sixth unless Jungo can make something happen in the final corner. No, he cannot. Oh, is that the commentator's curse? Jungo in sixth, Bankai Bullet in seventh. We see Bloody Nine there coming across the line in eighth position. Ronan GT Delaney in ninth, and in the background there you see Wedgiebo making his run down the pit straight. Next up you have the next mental racing car of Cali with Nicky going down the inside. Oh no, that's Communist Minion going down the inside. Communist Minion has made the move to cross the line in 11th, and Cali crossing in 12th. Then we see Nicky coming across in 13th, and Miguel coming down into the chase. Managed to not get lapped, has 14 seconds to finish the lap. As he comes down round the corner and across the line, but will count as a DNF as he didn't cross the line in time, but will still be awarded the points as he was only timed out by the clock. So there you go. H Racing Green is your winner for the feature race. With Ragnar Kagari in second and Hasnain in third. Then you have Ash Racer in fourth, Solid Ninja Snake in fifth, Jutngo in sixth, Bankai Bullet in seventh, Bloody ninth in eighth, Ronan GT Delaney in ninth, Wedgiebo, then Communist Minion, followed by Callie, Nicky, and then Miguel. Looks like Callie may have run out of fuel, which has allowed Communist Minion to get past right at the end. H Racing Green very excited and happy there. Well, that was certainly exciting. You can see the racers having a wee chat in the box there. We will have a short 5-minute break until the sprint race. Use this time to go and grab yourself a drink, some snacks, and get yourselves ready for the next 15 minutes of reverse grid action. I believe actually that with the... I'm not sure if H Racing Green has won the championship there. No one's said congratulations champion, they're just saying congratulations to everyone. I don't believe that has won him the championship. I believe Hasnain can still win. However, Hasnain has to win, and H Racing Green needs to be very low down the order. So we're just a few minutes out from the next race, the sprint race, reverse grid, medium tyres, 7 laps, with a rolling start instead of a grid start. So we should see a lot more battling through the field, especially for the top drivers who are usually up the front, the likes of H Racing Green and Hasnain, Ash Racer, Ragnar Kagari, Solid Ninja Snake, Banky Bullet. As well as Wedgiebo, who has made a habit out of winning on the sprint race. Has done it in Fuji, has done it at where was the other race he managed to do it? So there was Fuji in the Constructors' Challenge, and this season he took the win at Tokyo from the reverse grid. So we could see Wedgiebo doing his signature thing here. We could see anything happen. So we'll just see some of the drivers there making their way around, getting their bearings on these softer tyres, the medium compound. As you see, the yellow flag's out, people are parking up at Brock Skyline. Some will continue driving around until they are ready, but everyone is out of the pits and past the first sector time split. So when race control decides it is time to start, they will start the race. And there is race control, the coordinators of this league, Bloody Nine and Ronin GT Delaney, letting everyone know it is time to start and reminding everyone to be safe, no heroics into Hell Corner, as some would say, because this is not Monaco, so it's not Saint-Devote. Yeah, they're just hoping that no one goes for any heroics straight off the start. However, with this being a rolling start, the cars are spaced out a bit more, so should give everyone a better chance of getting through turn 1 unscathed. Unfortunately for some, due to the fact that it is a rolling start, someone will have the joker position of mid-apex when they get to take control of the car. As we see Miguel there on pole for the sprint race here. And we are off for the sprint race here, 7 laps around Bathurst. For the final race of this season, everyone looking like they're making it through Hell Corner unscathed, which is unsurprising considering everyone is more spread out versus a grid start, as we're here with Nicky Man. But we're going to jump towards the back of the grid with Hasnain and Ragnar Kagari and H Racing Green. Hasnain has the advantage here as he did start as he finished in 3rd. He starts higher up the grid than H Racing Green in this race. And with this being a tight and twisty track, it is going to be difficult to make it past, as there is yellow flags there. Who has crashed? It appears to be Miguel. Which has gifted Hasnain and H Racing Green a position each, from 12th to 11th and 14th to 13th. As we see these guys coming through the where we were at Sullivan Park to McPhillamy Park, and on the way down to Brock Skyline, making the way through the S's. As you see, there's a big train here with the people who were faster in the last race being at the back. And everyone making their way down the chase. Hasnain in the slipstream of Ash Racer there. Saw Ninja Snake ahead of him. As you see, H Racing Green has also made its way past Ragnar Kagari. And everyone kicking up lots of dust there as they get as close to the apex as they possibly can. As they come through the start-finish straight, Nicky takes the fastest lap of a 2:08.074. As Miguel has left. Miguel has retired from this race. See H Racing Green there trying to chase down Hasnain after being held back a wee bit by Ragnar Kagari, especially through that incident where Miguel binned it at the cutting. So up front we currently have Nicky Man, who has got a 1.5 second lead to Communist Minion behind, who is leading Cali and Wedgiebo. And then Ronan, GT, Delaney and Bankai Bullet up in 6th position, then Jungle in 8th. Jungle in 7th, Saw Ninja Snake in 8th, Ash Racer down in 9th position. Hasnain up into 10th, who has passed Bloody 9 with Ragnar Kagari behind. Behind Ragnar Kagari is H Racing Green. Hasnain next setting his sights on Ash Racer. Looking to close the gap down, get past, put as many cars between himself and H Racing Green as possible, as we are on lap 2 of 7, about to start the 3rd lap. This race most likely going to be a no stop, as Communist Ryan takes the fastest lap of a 2:02.7 as Cali now goes into the wall, and that has given everyone else an extra place, and Hasnain has caught up to the back of Ash Racer, a half a second between them, closing that gap in the slipstream as we come along Mountain Straight on our way to Griffin Corner, or Griffin Bend, on the way into the cutting. Looking like they're making it through safely, but Hasnain getting right up the rear wing of Ash Racer there. And they come through Reeds Park now, on their way to McPhillamy, and then down Brock Skyline. Has come through McPhillamy Park there, on the way down to Brock Skyline, breaking point there. And into the S's, Hasnain up in 9th, H Racing Green in 11th. As we are on lap 3 of 7. and back down the hill along the Conroy Straight. Looking to see if they can get the slipstream off the cars in front. Radnik Gary too far back to get slipstream from Hasnain. Hasnain in the perfect place to get the slipstream off of Ash Racer, however. As we see Nicky Man still in first, Communist Minion in second, Wedgie Bow in third. As we now start lap 4, Bankai Bullet now gets the fastest lap, 202.553. As we come back along Mountain Straight, let's have a look in at Bankai Bullet. Try to do the best he can for his team to get the team's championship. Is battling away with Ronan GT Delaney for 4th place there. Was trying to go around the, I think he was trying to go around the outside of Griffin's Bend there, but slotted in behind for the top of the mountain. Has come through Reed Park up to Solomon Park. Was looking to make the pass there through the tight section there. Thought better of it. As they make their way to McPhillamy, and that is Bankai Bullet lost the position to Jump and Go there, which has put him into the clutches of Solid Ninja Snake coming through the S's. Solid Ninja Snake all over the rear wing there as they make their way through Forest Elbow. Here we see the view from Solid Ninja Snake from the car. Looking to stay in that slipstream. You can see the dust clouds being kicked up. Solid Ninja Snake just fills the rear view mirror of Bankai Bullet, making sure all the Bankai can see is that purple Asahi Kasai car, the Ace Motorsport car. Hasnain now up into 9th position. H Racing Green in 10th. H Racing Green finally past Ragnar Kagari. As we see, Nicky is still in first, Communist Minion still in second, and Wedgebo still in third. At this point in the race, with 2 and a bit laps to go. As we come up through the cutting up to Reed Park and on to Solomon Park. As we make the way through to McPhillamy and then back down to Brock's Skyline. Hasnain looking at Ronan GT Delaney, who has fallen down the ranks a bit. As his teammate Ash Race behind, there has been an accident. There is Jut and Go in the wall. And H Racing Green right up behind Hasnain there. In 8th and 9th, the battle for the championship. As it currently stands, H Racing Green will be the champion. Hasnain needs to make some places and hope that H Racing Green stays there. H Racing Green pulling out, looking for the outside round of chase, as the inside for the second part of the corner though. These guys wheel to wheel as they come down to Murray's corner. Hasnain right up the back of Green, making her way through it, and Hasnain managed to save that there, not losing the place. They did lose the back end of the car. This is allowed H Racing Green to make a gap to him, and Hasnain struggling there with dirty tyres to get the grip to turn in where he wants to. As we are now on the penultimate lap, Nicky is still in first, Wedgiebo now in second, Communist Minion in third. Communist Minion and Wedgiebo switching places there. And Communist Minion and Wedgiebo switching places once again. These guys fighting for the podium. Nicky still holding a well over a second lead. That lead is coming down. Communist Minion is closing up. H Racing Green currently holds the fastest lap of a 2:09, as H Racing Green now gets past Ronan GT Delaney. And Delaney making a move on H Racing Green into the S's, makes it work. And Hasnain looking for the move on H Racing Green through the S's, looks to go around the outside at Griffin's Forest Elbow and heading back down the hill, down towards the chase in the slipstream there. Will look to pull out and make a move into the chase. Looking to make a move to the inside there. As we come down into the chase. Hasnain just thought better of it and stayed behind this time. Looking to the inside of Murray Corner, makes the move, does it well, but can he get the traction to hold it? H Racing Green's there, has the inside for Hill Corner on the final lap. And makes the pass go down the Hill Corner, and that also allows Rannika Gary to also get involved. Rannika Gary now kind of blocked off by the two fighting for the championship. Hasnain and H Racing Green. Hasnain pulls ahead by a nose. Ronan GT Delaney just behind him. Saw Ninja Snake up into third. Wedgiebo now down into sixth position. Seemingly Wedgiebo has made some sort of a mistake to drop down from second to sixth. Nicky still holding that lead. Saw Ninja Snake doing a good job for his team in third. As Hasnain still holding H Racing Green behind. As H Racing Green gets past not only Hasnain but also Ronan GT Delaney through the box skyline, as Hasnain is now looking for a move on Delaney, and Rannika Gary looking to get involved there some way as well. Hasnain now ahead of Delaney, as is Rannika Gary, as they make their way down Conroy Straight. Communist Minion and Nicky are fighting for position, as are Saw Ninja Snake and Ash Racer fighting for position through the chase. Saw Ninja Snake now in first, as Communist Minion dropping down the grid there. Wedgiebo back up into third. Bankai Bullet in second. Saw Ninja Snake crosses the line in first, followed by Bankai Bullet, then Wedgiebo, followed by Ash Racer, H Racer Green, Hasnain. And you find out what happens to Communist Minion and Cali, Rannika Gary, Communist Minion, Cali, Jut and Go, Nicky, Rannika Gary, Ronan GT Delaney, and Bloody Nine. Saw Ninja Snake is your winner. There with Bankai Bullets and Wedgiebo on the podium. Ash Racer in fourth, H Racing Green in fifth, Hasnain in sixth, Communist Minion seventh, Cali eighth, Jut and Go in ninth, Nicky in 10th, Ragnar Kagari in 11th, Ronan GT Delaney in 12th, and Bloody Nine in 14th. Miguel DNF left the room, no points for him. So with H Racing Green finishing ahead of Hasnain, that is confirmation that H Racing Green is your champion for AOR GT Sport League Season 12, the Group X Cup in the BMW VGTs. And I also believe that makes the Invicta Benetton Racing team your team champions. Especially with the results of the night so far. So I thank you for joining us here at Apex Online Racing. I've been Jack, aka GKRT Pinky Boy, your commentator and host. This has been AOR GT Sport League Season 12, the Group X Cup. This has been Bathurst. This has been absolutely fun. Keep an eye out on the AOR forums. Go to www.apexonlineracing.com. Check out the forums. We have everything that you want when it comes to racing leagues. We have Formula 1, we have iRacing, R Factor, GT Sport, Assetto Corsa, Competizione, Project Cars 2, the Dirt Games. We have Rocket League and FIFA stuff going on as well. So yeah, join us here for AOR for more racing stuff. Once again, I've been Jack, aka GKRT Pinky Boy. It's been great fun this season. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe, get the best racing on YouTube. And as I say far too often these days, stay safe out there.